Hey guys, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a flip through for you guys. It is my design team project that has been super long overdue for Dot's Inspiration Shop. I used their various celestial astrology themed kits to make this journal, and I used a lot of authentic vintage ephemera too, so that's something that you guys know I like to do, to combine like new designs with authentic vintage ephemera. So anyway, this is it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It is just held closed with a piece of vintage black twine, which I'm almost out of. I'm really sad. And then I have just attached this huge altered envelope, and on the envelope I have this big ruffle and one of my pin tickets here. It's like a tag, and then I've just like collaged on some pretty vintage labels, and then I've used these little crystals. They're not real crystals, so I think they're like acrylic, but I just love that with this theme. So yeah, I used a tutorial from Teal and Tattered to do this. So you guys know I love doing like the cover flap on my journals, but I just wanted to do kind of a different style with this one, and Teal and Tattered actually did one with like the eyelet attachment, so I wanted to give that a shot with this journal, and I really like how it turned out, so I may be using that in the future. The inside cover is just a fabric cover, and yeah, I've added on this pocket, which is just really pretty trim. And inside the pocket, I have tucked in a like faux cabinet card that I actually made. And if you guys want to see how I made these, I think the previous video to this one is actually the tutorial on like doing this. It's super simple, but I used one of my digital kits to make a couple of these like faux cabinet cards to use in this journal. So that goes in the front pocket. And then I've got a vintage report card from Tig, which is actually a town that's super close to where I live. So this report card is from 1934, I want to say. I think that's what it says. Anyway, so super cool little piece of history here, and that just tucks in there too. And then I've got this vintage stereograph card, which is authentic. So two pieces of authentic ephemera there in the front pocket. And then on the outside, it's just really kind of eclectic, and I love this trim, and this actually reminded me of the sun, which is why I used it. But I just love how this cover turned out, and then I stamped some of my numbers here and just stitched that onto cover. So yeah, that's the cover. And then when you open her up, I have just used this vintage music book cover to line the inside of the cover, and this one is a really old one, and it's really pretty, but it was slightly brittle, so I wanted to reinforce it, and I just used this gold washi tape to just add like an extra layer of reinforcement there. And then I've used like a library card and just made like this little journaling card to tuck in there. Yeah, so then here, this front page, I've used this, I guess it's like a chart of some kind. I got these from Village Artiettes. So Chris had these in her shop a while ago, and Lennon is here, and my brother's name is Chris, and so every time he hears Chris, he says Chris. Anyway, so I used this piece of chart paper, and I just thought that was kind of a fun little tuck spot there, but I left it empty. And then this is one of the Dot's Inspiration Shop printables, which is just gorgeous, you guys. Like, if you have not looked at this kit, it's one of their older ones, but I just loved it. Love these kits. The colors are so pretty, and the way I understand it is a lot of the pages that look kind of like this are like actually hand painted. So anyway, that's another of theirs. This is one of Rachel's, and I'll link all of the various shops and kits that I've used in this journal in the description box of the video. Yeah, so, and then I just added this little star washi sticker there. But this is one of my pages from one of my vintage paper kits in my shop. And then this is like an older piece of Tim Holtz paper, and I've just clipped on this postcard here, which is actually like a radio call card. But it was black and silver, and I thought that kind of fit perfectly with kind of a celestial theme. And then this is like I said, an older Tim Holtz paper. And I did a lot of like edge tearing in this journal, which I love how that looks. Like it makes it look like it's more just like pieced together and less exact, which, I mean, in kind of a celestial journal, you would think it would be the opposite. But like I said, it's my take. So okay, and then in this side, I've just made this side into a big pocket by folding it over and stitching the edge, and I've just tucked in this catalog card and a piece of note paper here. So just tuck right in there. And then this is a journaling page. This one is from Dots. And then on the back, I've just lined it with this lined paper, which still has lots of journaling space. And then just attach these fireflies there. And this is like a vintage seed packet, but I chose it because it's heavenly blue color. So, okay, and then on this side, I've just used this kind of hand typed like list, I guess. And I love it because it says ditto on some of the things. And anyway, that's just kind of a fun thing, but it's a vintage sheet that I used. I think most of, well, actually all the pages except the printables were vintage papers. So you guys know I like to use vintage in my journals. And then this is another from Dots, just some lined journaling space there. And I've added on this tab. You guys have noticed I've used a lot of tabs throughout so far. And on this is a Sears robot catalog page. And I have just folded the edge over, and it's glued down, but this paper is just really kind of flexible on its own, and so I did that, number one, to make it look a little less perfect, and also to just make it a little less flexible. So and then on this is just some lined like ledger sheet paper, and I've just added on this little shiny tab here. So a lot of things that I used in this journal are really sparkly, and like even this washi tape is kind of but it kind of like changes colors in the light depending on how you look at it. And then on this side, this is actually a flip out here because this is lined paper here, and I chose this particular airmail envelope because it's like black on the inside, and I thought that was so cool. So then I've just added on this little ribbon detail there, so that, you know, doubles as kind of a tuck spot, or, you know, you can glue on some more journaling space there, but I loved it just the way it was. So and then on the back side, this is a tuck spot. Like, I've stitched it around these two sides here. And these were actually clipped on the other side. So I've got like a blue colored bingo card, and then some other various blue tickets and a tag there. Here's some more of that journaling space. And then on this side, I've attached another of those cabinet cards that I made. So these are just so fun to make, you guys. Seriously. And you can do it with any vintage image, but they're just such a nice addition to any journal. And then on this side, I've got just some more journaling space, and this is actually a big pocket on the side here. And then I've made this little shaker thing out of a him-facing package, but I had all these sequins with like stars and moons and things, and I just wanted to use them in this journal somehow, so there you go. More journaling space. And then on this side, I've just got this USGS map. So this side is blank, so that's really great journaling space. And then on this side is the actual map. And I just love how these maps look. So I thought that fit really well with this journal. And just some ledger paper. And this is another from Dots. Just this teal is so gorgeous, you guys. And this is another from Rachel. And then on this side, I've just made this big pocket. These were actually journaling cards, I guess, that were in one of the kits from Dots, and I just wanted to make like this big kind of teal pocket for a pop of color in this like two-page spread. And then I've just clipped on this vintage game card here. And inside the pocket, I've got just some receipt paper and a flashcard. So those tuck in there. Okay, and then this is the center page. So this is from like a Mother Goose book, and I just thought this was so cute, and also kind of fit with the theme. So, and then it's got this big tab on the side. And then on this side, more of Rachel's. This is obviously the other side of that Mother Goose page. And then Rachel's tea-dyed paper. And then one from Dots. And then the other side of that ledger book page. And then on this side, I've just made this little corner tuck out of like a paint chip card. And just tucked in this vintage letter here. Yeah, so that unfolds, and it's actually pretty fragile, but I thought this was so pretty. And then on this side, that's more of that USGS map. Hi, baby. You gonna help me? Okay. And then on this side, we've got the other side of, you guys can probably hear the chomping. He's playing a little game. We've got this more journaling space here. Journaling space. And then this is obviously the Dots paper. I love those papers, you guys. They're so pretty. And then I've just used this vintage, it's like a children's encyclopedia page. And I've just made this asymmetric kind of tuck spot here and tucked in like a mini ledger book page and a page from a date book. So yeah, let's just tuck in there. More of the Dots papers. This is ledger book paper. Just this really pretty gold sari trim there. And then this is the other side of that Sears Roebuck catalog page. So I love this. It's like a telescope. So that's kind of fun because this is from 1908, or like a reproduction of the 1908 catalog. And then like binoculars and things like that. So then on this side, this is more of the Dots papers, and then I've just attached this, it's like a garment tag. So it's really satiny, and I just think it's really pretty. Sorry, that's getting really close to the edge of my table. So and then this is more just lined paper, and it has like notes in it or on it. And then the other side of that list paper, and this side has a pocket. And then on this side, I have attached this pretty tag that I got from Heather, and I'll link Heather's shop in the description box too. But I just love these tags, and I love that this one is blue. And yeah, so then I've also just attached this little reproduction Denison tag here for like a little tag medley, and they are attached with a little brad, so they can be taken off and used elsewhere in the journal, but for now they live there. What are you doing, bud? And then this is more of Dot's papers, and then the other side of that, Tim Holtz paper. So lots and lots of journaling space in this journal, which I really am loving lately. Like I've been doing a lot more journaling myself, and I love having a lot of journaling space, not necessarily like white space, but just space that's easier to write on. So I wanted to do a lot of that in this journal. And then this is the other side of that vintage paper from my personal kit, and it says, "I feel that I am wandering," and it has like these X's just like all over, like the person who's writing is like wandering around. And so I thought that was so fun for this journal specifically, because like you're exploring space or whatever. So yeah, then on this side it says "your distracted friend" and then his signature. So I thought that was fun to use in this journal. Then on the back side, I've just attached this vintage button card as like a corner tuck here, and I've used this like metallic ribbon, which is vintage. It came with a bundle of letters, and it was tied to like this. It was a bundle of letters that I got that was like baby cards and like things that a mother would have received in the hospital. And I guess this was like attached to balloons or like a bouquet or something. So anyway, I've been using just little bits of it here and there in my journals, and so that's really a special ribbon to me. And then I've just tucked in this vintage postcard there. So have to have a little bit of florals in my journals. You guys know that. So yeah, that's how I got it in this journal. And then of course the big giant sari trim there. And then this is the back side of that first Dots page. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then of course I turn the other side of that chart paper into another tuck spot in the back. So yeah, that's my journal, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I know it's a little bit different than most people would do for a celestial theme, but it's something that pleased me, and I enjoyed making it. So hopefully you guys liked it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and for sure, if you have enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I try to post at least one video a week. Yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video.